BC Radio. Welcome to the show. It's a Monday, fresh start of the week, and we are here again. 27th day of June 2022. Anthony Williams at the social media, and my name is Isaac Ray. The show is produced by Richmond Gay and Melvin Stewart. Giving me sounds here today is Fanso Siskoto. What do we do today? We will go to Lofa. Lofa is the hot political spot. We bring you comments, views, and analysis from our stringers and our correspondent in Vahon, Kolahon, Foya, Zozo, Salaye, Vonjima, and Kwandiboni. We'll be talking Lofa. What is going on with the administration of the elections for tomorrow? Camping in it. And so no camping on this radio. We go to pre-voting atmosphere. We go to movements of logistics as well as security of these elections. So we'll talk to Ibrahim Ganda in Vahon, Samia Bole in Kolahu, Prince Morba in Zozo and Tokatano in Vonjima. Welcome to the show and all the best. After all the dust, after all the runs, election is tomorrow and Lofa County decides a new senator. Is that senator is the only female candidate Mariam Mufafana? Or is it George Sama? George Sama, who we are told registered in Monrovia and will only be a candidate but will not vote for himself. He's the current representative of District 12, Monserrado County. Will that new senator be Councillor Joseph Jala? Or will that be the newcomer, the first time contestant, Saros Tanukwali Mama? Maybe that new person could be Unitas Party, Galiman Kotema. Who knows? Tomorrow is the D-Day. Before we go to talk to our people across Lofa County, let me just bring you a gist of what's been happening today in Lofa. The National Elections Commission, NEC, will today, Monday, yes, I showed they've already conducted that, but let me just bring you highlights. June 27, the NEC hosted a one-day interactive section with the 6 candidates contesting in the Lofa County senatorial elections slated for tomorrow. President John Way has already declared a public or working holiday tomorrow. And that's in Lofa. The interaction with the Lofa County by-election candidates, other electoral stakeholders and policymakers of the commission will largely focus on the dispute resolution and electoral justice, as well as election day operations, including polling and counting procedure. According to NEC, Lofa County candidates meeting will bring the candidates face to face with each other and the Board of Commissioners led by its chairperson, Director Brown Lasana. The candidate interaction section with the policymaker of NEC is under the theme Sustaining Peace and Building Trust in the Electoral Process in Liberia. The National Elections Commission program will take place at the Pentecostal College, or took place at the Pentecostal College Hall in Vonjima City. JFK Hospital, that's Asalofa right now. We come to Monrovia. JFK Hospital gets first morning ELAP. What is it? With support by the government of Liberia and the government of the United States of America through the Use to Save project. Program bringing research to impact for development and global engagement. Utilization Bridge U Liberia, with partnership with the University of Liberia, has launched an experimental learning assessment lab, the E-Lab, which is part of the support program to the University of Liberia under the Center for Teaching, Learning and Innovation, was launched on Thursday, June 23, at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital, JFK in Monrovia. The goal is to improve healthcare delivery delivery, beef up health education with medical students getting practical knowledge. That's ELAP for JFK. World Bank is in the news again. The World Bank approves new project to empower Liberian women and girls. I think we talked about this the other day, but let me give you a gist of this. The World Bank board has approved a financial package to improve economic livelihoods and access to social services for women and girls in targeted communities, foster positive social norms, and strengthen the government's capacity to advance women and girls' empowerment in Liberia. The Liberia Women Empowerment Project is financed by the International Development Association IDA in the amount of 44.60 million, 17.80 million grant, and 26.80 million concession contract. The Liberia Women Empowerment Project will address in a comprehensive way the various key constraints and barriers that women and girls in Liberia face in realizing their full potential. In particular, the project will empower women and girls by providing them with grants to start and expand women-led businesses across various sectors and provide them with the relevant training and also support positive changes in social norms, behavior, attitude that create a conducive and safe social environment for women and girls and empower them to make individual and collective life-changing decisions, including access to economic activities or opportunities, education, health services. Finally, the project will also strengthen the capacity of relevant national institutions so that they are able to design, implement, and scale up programs that empower women and girls. Good news. I like good news. I know you like good news too. Good news is that everything is calm. Campaign has ended in Lofa County. All eyes set on Lofa. Tomorrow, Lofa goes to the polls to do a peaceful elections. If you're watching us from our social media, we want to say welcome. Let me try to make some contacts with our correspondent and our stringers, people who we asked to get ready to give us update, elections material, number of polling centers, as well as security for these elections. So I'm trying to reach out to Lofa County, from Lueman to Basiwen, from Basiwen to Zigida, from Zigida to Lawalazu, from Lawalazu to, just all parts of Lofa. Will be from Mansabolahon to Solomba, from Solomba to Kisidu, from Kisidu to Golu. Just name it. Will be all parts of Lofa today. So we're trying to make contact with the team in Lofa. We'll be talking to them today, tomorrow, and days on as we bring you highlights from Bakadu, from Selaga, from Kwetnabondi, from Basiwen, from Bakasa. All those big Loma towns, we will be there to get you the results on the spot without fear or favor, without a result or without a report that favors any candidate. We're covering from George Saman, Mariam Fofana, Galiman Kotima, Saros Momo, Joseph Jala, Sumo Kupi, and you can name all the candidates. 6 of them will be covered. And so ELBC is just all over the place. Thanks to Radio Life in Zozo that's relaying all of our programs. Thanks to radio, the Alternative Youth Radio in Zozo. Thanks to Radio Hawangi in Kolahun. Thanks to Radio Tamatekor and Radio Menikoma, all in Foya, and Radio, the voice of Lofa too, or the voice of Lofa is lifting our programs. Radio Kigama, they had some, not Kigama's way in Nimba. Radio Kintoma, and we are all there through your efforts to get us on. We know we're down in Grand Crew County. We're trying to look at that shortly to get our relay station on. We're down to Radio Sewa in Saninkweli, but all the stations, especially the one right here in Kakata, Radio Hope, that's lifting all of our flagship programs. We want to say thank you and want to say welcome to the program. We will be joining Jala Greyfield at 4:30. Jala is covering the elections here in Emmanuel Colley in Lofa. So from and that program will be really on Radio Tamatikor. So if you're in Lofa and you can hear us, we good. If you can get us on the Facebook page called to participate on the program, we'll bring our portion of the Bamba Show from Lofa shortly. That's at 4:30. But meanwhile, I'm trying to get to Tokpatano, or do you want us to start from the periphery, starting from Zozo, Salaye, and Golu? So let's see if we can talk to Prince Moba. He's responsible for that region to give us updates and highlights about the elections preparation from the National Elections Commission. That is, I'm looking for Prince. How come? I'm looking for Prince Moba. Seems as though some loaf of magic is being played. Prince Moba number is disappearing from my line, but I will try to get it. I will try to get Prince Moba, who's assigned to Zozo Salaye and the Golu and Tenebu Belt. So I'm trying to get, is that Prince Moba? This is ELBC Radio. Stick and still. While I'm trying to get Prince from Lofa, let me try to get you a nice Loma song. You will like it. That song will drive us to getting all of our correspondence ready and set. So let me look for this beautiful Loma song on ELBC. And here's it for you as we try to get to Prince Moba. ELBC Radio. Okay. Okay, Prince, hold on. Prince, come to you shortly. All right, sometimes the Bani people get on my back. The Bani people and the Kisi people and who again, the Mandingo people from Lofa, they say, every time you want to do Lofa, why you don't play our music, you want to play Loma. I will try to get enough Bani songs. But right now, Prince is on the line. Prince, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Red. Good afternoon.
Good to have you, and your voice kind of set and ready to cover these elections and give us some highlights or updates as to the movement of logistics and also security for the election. So far, campaign ended 12 midnight last night. What has been going on for the rest of this day?
Yes, exactly as you said, campaign activities came to an end at 11:59 last night, and we woke up this morning to a quiet county Lofa as compared to days back during the time of the campaign. The area used to sleep very noisy, but I tell you, if you go to Salaye today, it's quiet. If you come to Zozo, Zozo is equally quiet. If you go to Cornea, you go to Kwanabun, you go to Bazawe, you go to Bonjama, everywhere is quiet. And it tells you that there's no more campaign. What is left now is to make a fervent decision on tomorrow.
So all the 6 candidates, how many of them will be voting around Zozo or Sukrumu or around Salaye? How many of the 6 candidates are from that belt?
Well, I know that Galapai Kotume, who is ticket will be voting in Zozo. I also know that Professor Sumoji Kupi, the former senator, will be voting in Solowo, and that is also around Zozo and Salaye. And so far, that's all.
What about George Sama? Where is he going to vote?
Well, George Sema, as you know, is the current representative of District Number 12, and he did not register in Lofa County. And by the electoral law, you have to register to a particular area, especially for this election. It's not as compared to previous election where they say, well, if you voted, if you have a card from Bosrado, you can be transferred. And this is not it. It's a different case. If you don't have a card here, you won't be allowed.
So George Sama wants people to vote for him as senator of Lofa, but he wouldn't be voting for himself because he's a voter in District 12. Is that what you're telling us?
That's quite correct, and I'm very sure of that. And if George will be allowed to vote here tomorrow, then that will be questionable. But what I do know is that he's not eligible to vote here, even though he's eligible to be voted for, but not eligible to vote.
But in terms of his origin, is he from the Zoso belt too?
Of course, he's from the Zozo belt. He comes from the Ziyama clan. He comes from a town called Dawsonalo, and that is around Konya. It's just a stone throw from Konya town, a very large town.
But it's off the road?
It's off the road. It's
Okay.
off the road. When you go into Zigida,
Zigida. All right. Then I have an idea of what you're talking about. But thank you. Let's talk about security. Have you seen an increased security movement, or is just the same overall police or joint security that will be monitoring these elections tomorrow?
Well, Mr. Ray, I can clearly say to you that there is an increased security movement. We experienced the entry and influx of a huge number of immigration officers and armed police officers in the county. And some of them are protecting the ballot papers. As you know, the papers are all around the districts where the deployment needs to take place. And today, officially, NEC is already deploying people. I visited where the ballot papers are kept because I'm told they were taken to the Zozo police station, and the authorities there, the police officers there, they were not keeping ballot papers there. And so it was sent to the Esther Bacon School for safekeeping. I visited the place. I saw the assistant magistrate for election, Mr. Dubba, and today he's dispatching those who are to go outside also just to make sure that tomorrow election is a success. So security, yes, there's an influx, and in fact the number of it's rare if we were going to consider the amount of security in the county to be able to safeguard this particular election, then we're going to have a shortage of security in some areas because, as you know, in Lofa we don't have vetting correct. It is police officers. We should talk about immigration. So other security officers came in, some armed police officers and also some immigration officers to be able to aid the other people who are on ground. So I can say to you that yes, Lofa is charged security-wise, and we have security people on ground.
Okay. All right. So we will always be there to talk to you for any update on these elections. And tomorrow you're going to be very active around the Sukrumu Zozo Salaye belt. But thank you so much, Prince, thus far with the information you provided. But just keep your lines always open. Tomorrow we're surely going to be on your back for up-to-date information on the process and the way the process is proceeding. Thank you, Prince.
It's a pleasure always.
All right, Prince Morba from Radio Live Zozo on the line from Zozo. He says George Sama will not vote because he didn't get registered as a voter, and so yes, so we'll also be talking to the other correspondent Samuel Boli, then Tokotano, as well as to Ibrahim Ganda in Fireway Vahum. From there, we will go to Jala Griffey, who does the rest of the show from the Palawa Hut in Foyer. And I know Jala is currently monitoring us, but let me try to get to Vaihun. We hardly hear from Vaihun as often as we should. So Ibrahim Ganda will be filling us with information tomorrow from so I'm trying to, I don't know how come these numbers are just disappearing, but we try to do all we can to get to Ibrahim. Ibrahim is in Vahun, like I mentioned, and he will give us updates from Vahun, Masambolahun, and Yanehun, all those areas in Lofa County that we need to hear from about the elections on tomorrow. So after Ibrahim Ganda, we go to Tukmatanu, and then after Tukmatanu, we will definitely, it's a serious problem. We hope we don't experience this tomorrow. The network is so terrible. Serious network problem. and and so we after Prince Mobile from Zozo, we go to Kolahon. We have good afternoon, Samuel Bole.
Yeah, let me say good afternoon and good afternoon to the listeners.
Good to have you on ELBC Radio. Is radio Hawangi always give me some tough time. Is your radio station on right now?
Yeah, well, because of some current embarrassment, we normally come on 6 o'clock to 10 and also 6 o'clock, but tomorrow we're going to be on throughout because of the election activities.
Very well. Thank you for the efforts you are applying Kolahon to get information to the peoples. And you're still getting the ELBC signal very well there?
Yeah, it's clear. We cover some of the program, normally the news and other activities.
All right. Okay. We don't have time because we have to go to Jala Griffey in a nearby foyer. But I was just asking Prince Mobile from Zozo, what is the atmosphere after all the dust and the tension in this campaign has ended? How does Kolahun Koba City looks like right now?
Well, Kolahun Koba City remains quiet. The campaign ended yesterday, last night around 12 midnight. This morning, we try to visit some of the political party headquarters where the place is quiet. Some of them are now training their watcher to see how they can get to the various polling places to observe the election activities. But Kolahun remained quiet, like yesterday, where the place was damn packed when it comes to the clamors of launch of Councilor Joseph Patojara in Kolahun
So
District.
all of the 6 candidates held some campaign rallies in Koba City?
Yeah, all of the 6 candidates, all of them visited Kolahun District, but not all of them launched in Kolahun. The only person that launched in Kolahun was Councilor Joseph Patojara, but all of the 6 candidates, all of them visited Kolahun.
All right, so visiting is different from launching.
Yes.
How's the security movement in Koba City and the nearby towns?
Yeah, well, when it comes to the security aspect, we have more PSU, we have the police, we have the immigration officers around, and the magistrate is close to order today. Was the final day for the deployment of the pool washers. They started the whole entire process on Saturday. Yesterday, again, they continue today according to everything. And I make some tour around Koba City and also around the various towns and villages where the people are now displacing some of the voter registration rule on the wall to see how the voters can identify their name before tomorrow election. But the security is already intact, and we spoke with the magistrate. The magistrate said, well, with the mandate given to all the ES, he told the people that around 2 o'clock, if any of the pool washers are not to their assigned area, if any of the ES get there, seriously, they're going to replace the person. But according to him, he said, well, it is of course, all the material have been deployed to the various assigned area. They are waiting now for tomorrow to kick off the election process.
All right, so all has been calm all day, and Koba City looks calm, like you said earlier on. How many of the 6 candidates will be voting around Kolahun district?
Well, only one candidate going to be voting
in Kolahun District, which is Councillor Joseph Patojara, and going to be voting in Kolahun Central. But the rest, only Councillor Joseph Patojara here from Lower Lofa, the rest here from Upper Lofa.
Ah, all right. So thank you, Sam. We will look forward to getting more updates from you about tomorrow's elections. Anytime there's something that we need to know, feel free to call, and then we will lift that conversation up. And let's hope that it ends up a peaceful process in Lofa County.
Yeah, okay, thank you ever so much, and I'm always posted. I was agreed upon that I'm going to be starting from 4 tomorrow. I will be available to see how I can inform our people. Thank you ever so much.
All right. So Sam Abole from Radio Hawangi, call that name for me again, please. Radio, what's your oh, he gone. Radio Halangi, a little bit of bandy there. All right, and to my man, the city mayor of Koba City, Mr. Buerka, we hope you're doing well, and all the rest of the people in Kolahun, Koba City. So let me try quickly to rush to Gandhi again. I hope I can get Gandhi this time. The network is terrible. We hope our companies here will work towards improving the voice and data calls so that we can hear from our people across the country. I'm trying to reach to Vaihon, where we will be hearing from Ibrahim Ganda, and then finally to Patano as we run up the conversation with the stringers and our correspondent. Then we join Jala Griffith, who is currently in Foya. All right, we still not getting called through with Ibrahim Ganda. We hope he can contact us before we close here on the shore. But I'd like to go right now to Tokpatano, who is listening to the program via 89.9 and 99.4 in Vonjama. Our Lofa County correspondent, he was on this morning. He has to be on every second of the day to give us updates from all parts of Lofa. But again, he's going to be around Kwandi Bundi and Vonjama as far as to Baziwe to give us some updates on tomorrow, and then subsequently the counting and the announcement process. Tokpatano, good afternoon.
A very good afternoon, Director Red. Thanks for having me this afternoon.
Good to have you, and thanks ever so much for all you're doing in Lofa. How is everything going? How does Vonjama look like right now?
Well, Vonjama is quiet right now since this morning. The streets are all quiet. All we see is the conclusion of deployment that's ongoing right now by political parties, including independent candidates as well. So the place is actually quiet.
In terms of security, we're hearing from other parts of the county that security is deployed and logistics are already in tight. So what is happening with the election material? Are they in sight? Are they somewhere safe? And the movement of security?
So according to the elections magistrate, all of the materials are already in and they are in tight. In terms of security that you talk about, yes, we witnessed huge percent of security apparatus who have come to beat up the strength of those securities that are already on ground. You know, as a country, we haven't had that much of them, and so as a means of ensuring that the process is peaceful, is calm, there was a need to beat up the strength of the guys who were already on the ground. So we have had a huge presence of security apparatus, and they've also been deployed to those strategic locations across the county, including the bordering towns as well. You know, there are several poorer borders.
Yeah.
There are several.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are several poorer borders, and so they've also been spread out to some of those bordering towns to ensuring that we don't have intruders into the process.
When you say intruders, what do you mean? People who are not registered or coming from outside Liberia? Are the borders going to be closed?
Well, people who are coming from outside of Liberia, we haven't heard about closure of the border, but this is something that sometimes happens. You don't rule it out, right? Sometimes when these elections are held, you find people who are across the border, but they have obtained our voting cards, and so they want to come and participate in the process. So the securities are on top of their game to ensuring that we don't have those kinds of situations occurring.
All right. So how many persons are we expected to see voting tomorrow in terms of registered voters?
Well, in total, we have 187,775 registered voters across the county, and of that number, we have 96,829 females and 90,946 males.
So there are more women. There are more women voters. Are you saying that the 8,000 female and 90 male?
Correct. That is that. We have more female registered voters as compared to the males.
That's going to put Marie Fofana on top. If all the women there will vote for her as the only female candidate.
Well, I like when you say if, because I know that's something that's going to be happening as a matter of fact. In as much as there is this call for increased women participation into politics, but it's not just possible to have all of these registered women voting for a female candidate, right? So it's going to be spread across those.
All right, but let's talk about where are the candidates going to vote. I know that Marie Fofana is Vonjaman. David Simon is around Vonjaman, where Sarah Momo comes from. And then another person who's running. So how many, let me just put it to you and you can say how many of the 6 candidates are going to vote around Vonjaman?
Well, I know of 2. The 2 you just named are the ones who are expected to be voting around here. They include Mayamu Bian Fufana and Tanukuli Momo Saras.
All right, so we'll be looking up to you for more accounts of what's voting in Lofa, Tokpatano. I want to thank you so much. I know that I heard from Prince Moba earlier on that George Sama, the sitting representative of District 12, Mosurado, will not vote in these elections. Have that come to your knowledge?
Correct. That issue was raised this morning, and it became a serious concern that, yes, you have Dr. Sema as a candidate in this election, but not being able to vote for himself on grounds that he has a voting card for Montserrat County and not for Lofa County. And there were no new registration for this election. Only people who had voting cards that got lost or got damaged had an opportunity to have them replaced. But there was absolutely no new registration. So that issue came up this morning, and it has been a concern to a lot of people as well. Before I leave you, we've also observed the presence of various monitoring groups to include Democracy International. They've got their observers here on ground. The Election Coordinating Committee, the ECC, are also here. We have the UNDP, the UNPN, the Liberal Council of Churches as well. They also got observers here. The Women NGO Sakitaria, Wangoso, also have their observers here, ensuring that they follow the process from start to end.
All right, Tokba. So let's keep everything constant, meaning that we'll continue to be in contact with each other. Anytime there's an update, you feel free to call. The radio is dedicated to Lofa between now and on Wednesday for pre and post election activities, meaning that we will cover these elections by the voting process, the counting, and the unofficial announcements or accounts of what will be posted on the boards at the different polling or precinct centers. Thank you, Tokba.
Thank you so much.
All right. The manager of Radio Kitoma and also our ELBC correspondent, we could not have heard from Ibrahim Ganda. I will bring in a beautiful Lama song, and then later on we will try to contact or connect with Jala Griffith. He will take up the rest of the broadcast at 6 o'clock during the Bomber Show from Tamatilos Town, Foya, and that's Foya Airfield. But ELBC Radio will always be here for you. We're making sure we bring you everything you need to know about local elections, the candidates, and their chances. We'll bring you all that you can hear from Lofa. So ELBC, it's Lofa, Lofa, Lofa.
Yeah.
Lofa County, a big county, a county without a senator for almost 3 years, since 2020. And now we're going to find a senator. Is that senator going to be Galiman Kotimai, or Mariam Fofana, or George Sama, or Saras Mamor, or Joseph Jala, or that senator going to be Sumo Kupi? Let's find out tomorrow. We're trying to link up my Facebook account with Jala Grayfield. Jala, we're doing everything possible to get you. Why haven't we gotten you, sir?
You're in the next few minutes.
All right, Jala Grayfield, he's on the line. He's getting ready for the show from Lofa. All we need for Lofa is a new senator. And Lofa is always green, right? And the blue fighting to take over Lofa. So is the green versus the blue. The other independent candidates, I don't know their color. But the two dominant political forces we're knowing is in the Joseph Jala camp, supported by the blues, and in Galiman Kotimai, supported and sponsored by the Greens. And so is the Unity Party, Galiman Kotimai, and is Joseph Jala, he's an independent candidate. We're trying to link up with Jala Grayfield. Jala, good afternoon. Are you getting us?
It will be unveiled very shortly, according to Thomas Fala, who is the architect behind this. But on today's edition of this program, which is the bumper show that comes to you from Foya District, we'll be looking at the security situation ahead of tomorrow's election. We will also be looking at the situation in the city of Foya. We will have the city mayor of Foya,